Okay, I'm Josphine Favre, and I am the president of the African Association for Vertical Farming. We are here invited by the University of Nairobi to share our knowledge over vertical farming and what we do in vertical farming. It is very essential for us to share knowledge on vertical farming so that whoever is practicing vertical farming does it in a way that is appropriate, bringing in food, healthy food into the continent. So for us, vertical farming is science, is food science, which is actually the piece of puzzle that I've always been looking for to bringing into Africa so that solutions on food security can be actually put forward. And this whole launch of Kenya brings in, of course, the stakeholders that have been practicing vertical farming and will still practice vertical farming in the near future. And for that matter, to learn the state of art of vertical farming from experts such as ourselves, it is actually inevitable, practically inevitable. And we are looking very much forward also to collaborate with, people who have the same values for Africa, who are combating food insecurity by, of course, involving issues such as climate change, issues such as like women empowerment, issues such as the youth of Africa, and how we can tackle the fact that our youth of Africa need to be mentored, properly mentored, enhanced, educated, and given the right funds in order to tackle agriculture in the so-called as an agripreneur, not as just agriculture, simple agriculture. We had my first launch in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and it was also very, very successful. And then I said, East Africa, I'm originally from East Africa, and I would like to be able to cater that also for the East African part. And Kenya was one of the countries that I thought as first, and I know that I'm going back to also to Tanzania, which is my original mother country. I would go there and I would do the same thing. And I feel very much at home in Kenya anyway. This is like my home. I don't see much of a difference actually. So why smallholder farmers? I do believe like smallholder farmers in Africa need to be aware that they cannot practice farming like they practiced farming 12,000 years ago, which is, for me, very unhealthy. Like for the back, for example, with a hoe, we call it the djembe. You don't do that anymore. You did that 12,000 years ago. And also to give the opportunity to smallholder farmers to have a certain knowledge, to leap into the Industrial Revolution, to have an access to technology so that they can also prevent the food insecurities that they are having in their communities. And food insecurities can only be prevented if people have the right knowledge to dig into finding more solutions on how they can tackle how they produce their food, and especially in a healthy, environmental, and sustainable way. And you can only do this if you educate the people, give them new knowledge or proper knowledge on technology, and that's exactly what AAVF is doing right now. In South Africa, the vertical farming is very, very advanced. Some part of North Africa, maybe in Morocco. Egypt is not so bad either. But otherwise, it's still very, very slow. It's not as fast as in Europe. And on top of that, vertical farming, when you talk about our economy, can contribute enormously to the African economy. And that is exactly where we're going. If we have to pay taxes in Africa, if the farmer has to pay taxes in Africa, it means that they have to exhale in their farming so-called activities. And you can only exhale in farming activities if you've got technology. You cannot do or excel in your activity or farming activities if you're practicing farming like in 12,000 years ago. And so that's the way I am thinking of, leveraging all our efforts together to push up these so-called agripreneurs in Africa will also enhance the African economy.
Okay. My name is Peter Nyating. I'm the African Association for Vertical Farming coordinator in Kenya. We are promoting vertical farming technology, which is a complement to conventional farming, because conventional farming is prone to a lot of calamities, which is a threat to food security in Africa. So AAVF is basically coordinating with the research institutions. Like currently we are partnering with the University of Nairobi and Miramar International College, which is a great partner. Our objective on theirs are probably the same. We are promoting food security using vertical farming technology. And the unique thing with AAVF is that AAVF now doing something called innovative volunteering, where we are skill retooling youths, where we are identifying their skills, the skills we are going good in, and we are putting that skill into the value chain to promote agriculture.